Hello and welcome to another lesson in the creation of our stock inventory management system. In our previous lesson, we dealt with what you guys are seeing on your screen right now, and that is the main or the main form where we can control every move in our shop or whatever it is. So in here, like I said, we are going to be pasting the codes, right? We're going to be pasting the codes. So to avoid any errors, we're going to label our buttons, our labels to match with what we have assigned in codes. So the way I'm going to name them, the combination of our the letters, small and then capital letters, take note of that and also do exactly the same thing. So let's just dive right into that. But before we do that, don't always forget to save your garden. So you can close this here and then you just and then that's to save your work. So you are done with that. So let's proceed. Let's select this and then change the back style to maybe transparent so that it matches with the background color. So I think that looks okay now. Good. If we should debug it, it should look better than previous code. So this looks okay now. That's okay, that's cool. So let's continue. We're going to start with this. So you make sure this is selected. So we're going to name it what? TXT. So just watch the naming. TXT, then underscore. TXT, then underscore. Then we say start date. Starts, then underscore again, then date. Please name it like that. Just make sure it's named the way you see it here. Then we move on to this one, and that one is going to be something like IMG1 for short, image 1. So you clear this and name it IMG1, that is image 1. Then we select this, then that's going to be TXT end date. So take note of that. So we clear this and say TXT, then underscore, then end, then underscore, then dates. Sorry, date. So make sure you do exactly the same thing. So you can guess this should be IMG2. So IMG2. So from there we come to this one and we call it CMD refresh 1. So CMD refresh 1. So we do that. So you can call it CMD refresh 1. So something like this, CMD refresh 1, right? So CMD, then underscore, then refresh and 1. So we are done with that. So we move on to this, the product master button. So we name it CMD master. So something like this, CMD underscore, then master. Good. Then with this one, I'm going to name it CMD save. So just clear this and say CMD, then underscore, then save. So I think we are done with that. Now we move on to this particular ones here. We're going to be labeling this one. So what's the name? The numbers areas, not the label itself. I mean the numbers areas, right? So to start with this, we call it, this is label 4. So we're going to change it to what? LBL. So LBL. I'm choosing I. So it should be LBL, then underscore, then we call it purchase. So that is that. So we move on to this one. Now we select this, you make sure the selection, you do it well, and we call it LBL, then underscore, then sale. Take note of that. Sorry, it's not even here, so let me just do that. So we call it LBL, then underscore, then sale. We are done with that. We come to this one, then we choose it, select this one inside here, come in here, then this, you can clear this, then we name it LBL, then underscore, then profit. Good. So we are done with that. Then we come to this one as well, select this once, then the second time, then need to select that. We come this way and we call it LBL why am I choosing it? LBL, then underscore, and we call it inventory, then underscore QTY. Let me confirm that here. Good. That will be inventory quantity, right? Sorry, that will be inventory quantity. Good. So move on to the last one here. So we call it sorry, this one rather, we call it LBL inventory. Can guess LBL, then underscore, then inventory, then underscore, then AMT for short amount. So I think we are done labeling the important parts. So we move on to this one's here. So I think we are done with this and all that. So let's come to this. So select this and name it txt search, txt, then underscore, then search. Then select this one as well, then you name it cmd refresh 2, cmd, then underscore, then refresh 2, then cmd export 1, this cmd underscore export 1, that is that. Then this one is a listbox 1, which is also matching, so that's okay. So now we are done with that. Let's come to this one. So we're going to name it as a cmb as in ball, cmb, and underscore, we call it products, cmb products. So we come to this one. So we're going to name it a minute please. We're going to name it cmb type, cmb underscore type, and we are done with that as well. Then we come to this one. We're going to name it txt quantity, so txt underscore, then quantity. Then we come to this one, txt rates, txt, then underscore, then rates. Good, so we have that as well. Then we come to this one, txt date, this one. So we say txt underscore date. Then we come to this one, it's a img3, it's a img3. Good, saying that looks okay. Then we come to this one now, this. So we call it cmd add, cmd for short command add. Then we come to this one. Then we name it cmd update, cmd update. Now we come inside here. Now we're going to name this one opt1, meaning option 1, opt1. Wait a minute. Then we call this one opt2, then we call this one opt3, 3, that's that. So we call this one txt id, txt underscore, then id. Now this is listbox 2, so we come to this one. So we call it cmd export 2. So this, clear this, cmd underscore export 2, export 2. So take note of that and make sure it's spelled well, else your program, your codes, when you run them, it might give you errors, and then that will lead to frustration, which we don't want. So we are done with that. Now we're going to proceed and then check on our combo box here. So we're going to define some properties of for this combo box. So make sure it's selected. Now let's come to the special effect of this, and then let's give it special effects. Okay, let's give it something like the bump. This one as well, let's give it the same thing. The bump. Now let's come back and select this one. Now let's look for style. The style, we don't want it to be drop down, want it to be list. So you choose the down one here, list. Then let's look for list row. This is it. List row being 8 here means that when we click on this drop down, we only have 8 items. Even if the items are 1,000, we only have 8 items popping up. It means we will have to scroll and see the rest. So we want to increase the number, let's say 25. So you do that. When you click on this drop down arrow, instead of 8, it should be 25 items popping up at a go, where you can select, then you can scroll and then get to the rest. So I think we are done with naming of all this. So basically that is that. Now let's debug our form again and see everything is working. We're not going to paste the code slide because we haven't done anything yet. We are still on it, so we are going to do a lot of that. So basically I think that is that. Now let's move on and begin creation of our okay, let me check something here on these properties here. Let me check, is there anything I will let me confirm something very well before. Okay. This enable here, let's turn it to false and see something here. A minute please, let's change it to false and see something. Let's run it and see. Okay, so we're going to change the enable properties for all these text boxes to what? False. So we're going to do that so that whatever comes in here, nobody will be able to edit it. So as it stands now with this, it means you can type something, right? We don't want it like that. So here you can see that you can't type anything. So let's go and then do the rest like that. So select this one, press Control on the keyboard, select this as well. Oh sorry, it won't happen, this is in a different frame. So let's deal with this for now. Let me just undo the selection and run it again and see something. Okay, so let's select this one alone. So let's look for enable and then set it to false. Select this and then set it to false. Select this one, press Control, select this and add this. Let's look for enable and set it to false. Then finally, see, this one will be hiding it though, but still we need to do that. So enable, set it to false. So I think false. So with that, I think nobody can edit anything because you can't type whatever here. So basically that is that. So I think that looks okay. And even this one, I think let's check if okay, just select this and see. Enable to should be false there. No, this one we can't. It should be true because of the drop down option. So I think this looks okay. So now let's go ahead and change the caption of our form, right? So look for the caption here, caption. So make sure the form is selected here. Click somewhere here, ensure the form is selected. So you should see this name, user form 1 here as the caption. So we change it to what? Inventory management system. So just type inventory management system. So this looks okay now. So Control S. Let's run it once again. Good. So everything is working perfectly. So basically that is that. Now let's proceed. Now we're going to do with another form which we call the product master form, right? So we're going to deal with that as well. So let's begin doing that. So to start with, let's just close this one, close this here. Now we are done with this one, inventory management. So let's go to insert, then we enter user form again. So we're going to do this, increase it a bit here. Okay, I think this looks okay. Okay, this is okay. So let's name it, give it its name. call it FRM product master, then underscore, then product, sorry, then underscore, then master, FRM product master. Good. So this looks okay. So let's change the main the caption to what, product master. Good. I think we are done with that. Let's look for the special properties here, special effects. Let's choose sunken. Now we need the heading here to call it a product master, right? So why don't we just come here, select this, and then Control C to copy. You can close this now, come in here, Control V to paste. So we just edit it here. So we can just call it product master. Sorry, product master. Text align, I would want it to be center, so you can just adjust this a bit. Sorry, adjust this as well a bit, and then move it this way a bit, and reduce this one a bit, so you can then drag it to the top here, like this. Think this looks okay. Product master, right? Perfect. So we need to begin adding our labels and then text boxes, so we don't have to stress ourselves with the stuff. So let's just quickly go back to our this, isn't it, this one. So let's select this one, select this, select this. So I think it will be good to go. So Control C to copy. So we can close this now, then we come in here and Control V to paste. So but before we do that, why don't we change our background goddamn color here? So let's just look for back color here. The back color should be something like it should match with the previous one, right? So this looks okay. So we have our label here where we call it product name. So let's drag it here. I think let's decrease the font size again because we'll be making copies. So let's deal with this one, and then when we are doing that, it wouldn't give us any other change here. So I think 11 is okay. It's kind of good. So let's change the caption to what? Product name. Sorry. Product name here. So let's just drag it this way a bit. We have that as well. So let's drag this to the bottom there. So we have this box being the product name here. So okay, this is kind of good, right? Good. Just adjust it to the center a bit. Good. Now let's make a copy of this and that. Control, select them. When you select one, to select the second one, make sure your hand is on the Control key on the keyboard. Then you make sure, then you select the other one. Though. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So we should have another one here, which will be a bit smaller than this one. Let's change the label to purchase price. Instead of product name, we call it purchase price. Good. So we can reduce this a bit. This is going to be a number, nothing else. Good. Select this, Control C, Control V. We have that of what? Sale price as well. Yeah. deselect it and select this one and change this the caption here. So you just deal with this. Let's call it sale. So I look good here. Okay, let me just confirm this as well. So we want to center. Why is the text not in center? Seem to do that right. Center the text. Good. So, and then we need another one here, which is going to be hidden though. So we need it here somewhere. So V here. It's going to be hidden. So we don't have to worry about that. We'll hide it. We'll turn the visibility to false. It should be working at the background, but I wouldn't see it. So basically that is how it's going to do. So down. So let's proceed and get our buttons here. So why don't you rename this one to add, to have our add button? I would want to decrease the font size. It seems bigger here. 11 is kind of good, so we have this. Select this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste. We have the updates. Change the caption to updates. That's okay as well. So now we need our last button, which is what Ctrl C, Ctrl V, the export button. We can export this to what? Excel. So let's change the caption to export. It's kind of good. I think everything is working perfectly for us. So now we need a list box here inside there to display whatever items we have here. So why don't we just go to the product, sorry, the main form, select this one, Ctrl C to copy it. You can close this now and then come in here, Ctrl V to paste it, and we just adjust the size here. Good. I think we are making a headway, right? Okay, so let's debug our form and see everything is smooth, right? So let's just adjust this a bit. Let's make it move to the edge. So let's run it once again. Good. Still having some distance here. Let me just end that as well. Let me just kill it once and for all. Good. Or should we have it popping up a bit? Okay, let's run it again. I think this is okay now. We can have our, what's the name, scroll buttons here and then here and there. So I think so we can just go ahead and then label our what's the name, our boxes, right? So let's just select them and then change the enable property to false. Okay, it's already false, right? So even let's debug it and see something. Okay, good. Now the next is we're going to name our you can see that it's having a name because we copied it and paste. So we're going to change it to txt. So we're going to call it txt products. Txt products, and then this one is going to be txt purchase price. Txt purchase price underscore. Then we're going to have this one txt sale price. So price, I'm going to have this one CMD add. CMD add. And have this one CMD updates underscore. And then this one CMD refresh. Oh, sorry, CMD export. CMD export. I think this is also kind of good. So I think we are done with that as well. So let's just debug it and see. Let me confirm this for CMD add updates. This make sure it's named accordingly, please. Else, if you paste our codes, it wouldn't work. It will prompt you to it will give you errors there, and then that will lead to frustration, which we don't want. So let's name this one txt id. Thank you. So txt underscore id. Good. I think we are done with that. So let's just to always debug your form or run it here. Make sure you click inside here, not somewhere here. Just here. When you run it, you should have everything up and running. So I think we are done with this as well. But still, we're not going to paste our codes right away. We're going to continue creation of other things so that when we just paste our codes and run it once and for all, we wouldn't have any other issue. So I would want to end this tutorial here, and then in our next tutorial, we're going to add some few sheets and then get things up and running on a various sheet, like the sheets such as maybe we call them the sale pictures sheet, sale display pictures sheet, inventory sheet, and then inventory display. We're going to add those sheets, and then there are labels and headings in the various sheets. Then from there, when we just paste our codes and some few formulas to be adding, we just paste our codes, we wouldn't have any issue there. So until then, I say thank you very much for watching my video. But don't forget, you can see that so if we have only 2 sheets, right? This is the workbook, and we have only 3 forms: the calendar, the form, the FRM inventory, and then whatever. But then let's just, before we do anything at all and forget and enter into problems, let's change the properties of this form. Let's look for the modal, some show modal, this one. Let's turn it to false. The reason is, when we have 2 forms like this and we would want to maybe trigger to open one in another one, we'll be opening this particular product master form in the main form. If we don't turn this show modal to false for both, it will look like they are the same form, but they wouldn't want to open at the same time. So we'd want to turn the show modal to what? False. So in that case, the moment we trigger the product master from the main form, we wouldn't have any issue there again. It will just work as expected. So we turn show modal for both of the forms to what? False. And then I think when we do that, that will be the best option for us. So I think that is that. So when we are done with this as well, show modal to false here. So we can close this one. Let's double click this one as well. Select inside the form here, go to show modal, turn it to false as well. So good. So in that case, when we trigger on this one to open the other one, it will open without any issue. So I think that is that. So we can close this and then save your work. Oh, okay, don't mind this. Just click on OK. Good to go. So anytime we come and then we trigger this, can have our calendar here. Close it. Can have our listings here. Close it. Can have our product master. If you want to view the codes, you click on this. For now, we don't have the codes. If you want to view the form, click on this. So that is how it works. So I'd like to end here. So till our next tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.